Abide.
tuân thủ.
The two parties agreed to abide by the judge's decision. For years he has abided by a commitment to annual employee raises. Agreement.
Thỏa thuận, hợp đồng, hiệp định.
The landlord and tenant were in agreement that the rent should be prorated to the middle of the month. According to the agreement, the caterer will also supply the flowers for the event. They have entered into a free trade agreement with Australia. An agreement was finally reached between management and employees. They had an agreement never to talk about work at home. Assurance.
Bảo đảm, tự tin.
The sales associate gave his assurance that the missing keyboard would be replaced the next day. Her self-assurance made it easy to see why she was in charge of the negotiations. Cancellation.
Hủy bỏ.
The cancellation of her flight caused her problems for the rest of the week. The cancellation clause appears at the back of the contract. Determine.
Xác định, quyết định.
After reading the contract, I was still unable to determine if our company was liable for back wages. The skill of the union bargainers will determine whether the automotive plant will open next week. Engage.
Tham gia, cuốn vào.
Before engaging in a new business, it is important to do thorough research. He engaged us in a fascinating discussion about current business law. Establish.
Thành lập, xác lập, khẳng định.
Through her many books and interviews, Dr. Wan established herself as an authority on conflict resolution. The merger of the two companies established a powerful new corporation. Obligate.
Bắt buộc, ràng buộc về mặt luật pháp hoặc đạo đức.
The contractor was obligated by the contract to work 40 hours a week. I felt obligated to finish the project even though I could have exercised my option to quit. Party.
Bên tham gia trong kế hoạch hay các hoạt động pháp lý.
The parties agreed to a settlement in their contract dispute. The party that prepares the contract has a distinct advantage. Provision.
Sự cung cấp, sự chuẩn bị trước, điều khoản.
The government is responsible for the provision of health care. The father made provisions for his children through his will. The contract contains a provision to deal with how payments are made if John loses his job. Resolve.
Giải quyết, quyết tâm, quyết định, sự quyết tâm.
The mediator was able to resolve the problem to everyone's satisfaction. The businessman resolved to clean out all the files by the end of the week. Specific.
Cụ thể.
The customer's specific complaint was not addressed in his email. In a contract, one specific word can change the meaning dramatically. Contracts are an integral part of the workplace. In simple terms, contracts are an agreement between two or more parties that specifies terms and obligates the parties to follow them. Contracts often include the amount that a client will pay contractors and what services will be provided. For example, in your office, you may have a contract that provides assurance that your copier machine or phones will be repaired within a certain amount of time. This service can either be done off-site or at your establishment. A contract often states ways to determine if quality of work delivered is acceptable. Well-written contracts usually provide ways to resolve problems like these when they happen. Before engaging in a contract, both parties should think carefully, as they will have to abide by the conditions specified in it. A contract usually specifies how the two parties can cancel it if either party fails to meet the terms. agree, agreement, agreeable. If both parties agree to the terms, we can finalize the contract. As soon as the labor agreement was signed, the factory resumed production. The parties are agreeable to the terms. Assure, assurance, assuredly. I assure you that our drug testing policy is applied fairly. What assurance is there that the company will still be in business? He spoke assuredly, but his follow-up memo showed less conviction. Cancel, cancellation, cancelled. The man cancelled his magazine subscription and got his money back. Writers usually receive a cancellation fee even if their articles are not published. The cancelled concert ended up costing our agency millions. Obligate, obligation, obligatory. The terms of the contracts obligate us to work for at least one more month. The factory managers have a legal and moral obligation to provide a safe work site. He finished his obligatory military service, and then joined his father on the orange farm. Provide, provider, provision. Since the machine is very reliable, why don't we cancel the service contract they provided? We must negotiate a new contract with our internet service provider. The provision for canceling the contract is in the last clause. Specify, specification, specific. The contract specifies the percentage of raise the workers will see next year. The work was done according to our specifications. We have not chosen a specific location for the reunion.